Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we are going to review some results of assessments that we did with Susie to discuss how we can best support her in the future. She has been receiving targeted interventions for reading, but has not been making the expected progress. We have administered a few different tests, and we do more than one test because we want to see a comprehensive view of Susie's abilities. As you remember, and I'm sharing this for the benefit of the other people on the team that are here, when we spoke earlier, you related to me that Susie is a well-adjusted child. She likes playing outside, listening to music, playing on her computer. She has a warm, caring home environment, which includes a good relationship with both of you and her two other brothers. There are no apparent physical problems, and she has normal vision and hearing. You also related to us that you feel that she seems more frustrated when working with you, her parents, as opposed to the high school tutor that you hired to try to help her. Before the testing, I observed Susie in the classroom environment on three separate occasions. In each instance, she stayed on task. She attempted all of her work. No inappropriate behaviors were observed. She seems to have friends in the classroom. Her teacher related to me at the time, though, that more than half of her assignments are incomplete. So the first test that was administered, I'm so sorry, work samples that were gathered from her classroom shows that her strengths are in math and her weaknesses are in spelling, writing, reading comprehension. And these are confirmed in the following tests. The WISC assessment is used to assess general thinking and reasoning skills. The numbers you see on the screen represent the fact that Susie is on the low end of average and actually bordering on below average. She seems to have more difficulty with tasks requiring her to sustain her attention. So, one of the things we are going to do with her supports in the future is to break assignments into smaller tasks. The Woodcock Johnson measures academic strengths and weaknesses. And we like to present it on a bell curve because this will show Susie's scores in relation to other students her same age. She did perform as expected for her age in math, but as you can see in the broad written language and the broad reading, that she has difficulties, specifically with written language, with reading comprehension, with decoding, with spelling, and with phonemes. For the test of auditory perceptual skills, she demonstrated weakness in most of the test areas, but mostly on the subtests that measure memory, isolated words, and numbers. She did score higher um, with remembering sentences and directions, but she had difficulty on similar items with the Woodcock Johnson. And this is another reason, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that we give more than one test so that we could see a broader picture. And I do believe that this test underestimates Susie's true ability. The teacher, Susie's general education teacher, filled out the child behavior checklist. And we found that there was nothing to worry about here. She was unable to complete most of her schoolwork as expected of same age students, and she seems to have emerging anxiety problems, but none of these findings were within a clinical range for behavior problems. That's good news. So we take all of this data and we compile to see what supports that we could offer Susie to help her to become more successful. With your approval, and I have incorporated all of this into the draft IEP that I sent to you last week, we will give her additional supports in reading and language arts and phonemic awareness. And we will also, in addition to breaking down assignments into smaller tasks, we will have her teachers present the material in both visual and auditory formats. And we will ask her teachers to provide direct instruction. And she will also be given graphic organizers to help her organize her thoughts. So if you do not have any other questions, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we could go ahead and end the meeting now, and we will institute these supports immediately. Thank you again for coming today.